I try to make my eyes bigger sometimes because I have tiny eyes. Hi, everybody. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Say hello. Come on in. Hi, everyone. Again, mommy. Bang. How many of you guys, um, let me see. TJ, how many of you guys have kids who cannot pronounce GB? You know how we have GB in the Yoruba alphabet. How many of you guys have your kids who cannot pronounce GB? T. My baby's gonna be 12 on Saturday. Hey, baby. Want to come say hello to everybody? My handsome baby. Bend down a little bit so I can see your face on Facebook. Scoot down. He's taller than his mama now. Scoot down. Look at my handsome baby. Look at my baby. His birthday's on Saturday, and his mama's birthday is on Sunday. TJ, say bobo.
Bobo.
Huh?
Bobo.
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 Huh?
Bobo.
It's not bobo. Bobo.
Bobo.
It's not bobo. Say ba. Okay, so can you close the door, please? It's always interesting when you mean bobo. Hi everyone. This is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, immigration lawyer based in Alabama, USA. Sweet home Alabama. Anyway, listen, my voice has been. Well, anyway, we represent immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, thank you. Thank you. Listen, let me put on my glasses because I can't see. Okay, here we are. At Dex Olas 2018. Thank you. Thank you. The underscore Shinwa. If you got an immigration case with something that we do in our firm, we can and do represent immigration clients. It doesn't matter what state you live in. Immigration is federal practice, so that means we can represent you in any state. So let's talk immigration. Thank you, everyone. I cannot believe that he's 12. Like he's gonna be 12. Just like yesterday, because I was actually had an unplanned well, it was planned C-section, but no set date. Like he was to be born September 3rd, but because of the emergency section I had my first child, my OB/GYN then 12 years ago, Dr. Harris is like, as soon as you go into labor, we are not waiting a day. We are taking him out. And I went into labor a day before my birthday. And there we have it. But anyway, if you need to contact our office, our number is 334-341-4475. You can also text us to that number. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel. I thank you all those who have joined and subscribed. I really, really appreciate it. We're growing. And I cannot tell you how every single day someone says, you have no idea that the videos you make, how much they actually bless and help. So please subscribe. Like and share and follow our Facebook page as well, TikTok, and so YouTube, subscribe, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all 4 platforms. If you put in Olale Immigration, then that would be me. But anyway, let's talk immigration. So this evening, let us talk about something that comes up, and y'all already know the drill. If you got a question, put it in the comment section, and we will address that at that point. And thank you. I see all the congratulations. I really, really appreciate that. And today, and for those who don't, if you've been working or whatever, today is 5 years that I was sworn in as an attorney in the state of New York. Yes. When my hair was still black. So it's like, I know it popped up. I was like, I'll be damned. August 18, 2017. I can never forget. Because the one thing that my dad wanted me to, and y'all Nigerians already know, You already know what kind of parents we have, and we do the same thing with the kids. My dad wanted me so bad to get licensed in New York, and so I initially was going to be licensed. I was going to take the New York bar in 2003, but then life happened. Got married, moved out to Chicago. I had started a family, became a stay-at-home mom. It was on the back burner, until he's dying. That he goes, Abisola. He used to call me Abby Mama, Abby Mama. Olatishe New York exam. So when I even passed the bar, the first bar I took was in Alabama in 2014, which I really thought I was going to fail because I don't know. Sometimes you think that thing is not written in English. But anyway, results came out 3 a.m. September 19th, September 25th, 2014. And I told him, I was like, I passed the Alabama State Bar, yada, yada, yada. He goes, congratulations, but it's not New York. It's not New York license. And I was like, you don't get more Nigerian parent than that. Going to New York. Can you Alabama license? Really? So he said, just don't give up on taking the New York bar exam. So on a day, I took the bar exam and it was like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to pass this darn thing. And when my results came, like, oh my God. But only, not regret, because I know he was smiling down. The only thing was that as of August 2017, my dad had passed 2 years before. And so it was like, okay, here you go. I'll mail it to heaven so you can use it since you wanted it. But it's the biggest license on my wall. So every time that this day comes around, the first thing that comes to my mind is not really passing the bar. It's my dad. That, just knowing that Nigerian father of mine, I actually did something that my dad was always proud of me. But that was one thing that he really wanted for me. And for me, it's like, okay, here you go. I'll mail you to heaven. But anyway, let's talk immigration. And today, apart from that, an expedite request. So the expedite request of the E80 that we got approved today was for a dear client. I did not tell him that I did an expedite request. The reason being, I just didn't want him to put his hopes up because he's being really, really bothered about it. And I just like, let me just do that without telling him. And I did the expedite request on July 18. Didn't know if that was going to make a difference. Just, a statement to Vermont Service Center, and exactly a month after today, this morning, I saw the email and I sent him the email like, oh, and then we got the prima facie determination today too. So thank God for August 18. But anyway, marriage to an LPR while your asylum case is pending. Married to an LPR while your asylum case is pending. Can you get your green card through marriage? Hello, Miss Olawanyola, how are you? To a green card holder when your asylum case is pending. Are you able to file your green card? Hello, Mr. Oladumeji. How are you doing? How was your day? Are you able to get your green card and apply, adjust your status if you're married to a green card holder and you have your asylum case pending? That's what I want to talk about. I'm glad to know you're fine this evening. Why? Because it's come up so many times now, up until the point of this evening. On today, I had a consultation. I'm going to move this a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't fall. Okay. I had a consultation with a client that was represented by a lawyer. All right. This is not street lawyer. This is real lawyer. That told them that she's able to go ahead and file. Her husband is a green card holder. He's able to go ahead and file the I-130, and based on that, she can file her green card application I-45, even though she has an asylum case pending because he's a green card holder. And long story short, I-130 is approved, 485 is denied. Why? Because she is a preference based immigrant. And I'll tell you what that means. And as a preference category immigrant, you must be in valid status at the time you file your green card application. For you to be eligible to adjust status and admissible, you must be in a valid non-immigrant, lawful non-immigrant status. So, preference category immigrants are those who are not immediate relatives. So if you fall under category F1, 2A, 2B, F3, F4, those are a preference category, preference-based immigrants. What difference does that make? There is preference category immigrants and there is immediate relative. Immediate relatives are sons and children under the age of 21 of citizens, parents of citizens, and spouses of citizens. Those are the immediate relatives. And because they are classified as immediate relatives, even if they have overstayed their authorized period of stay, they will not fall, they're exempt from unlawful presence because they are classified as immediate relatives. Conversely, preference category immigrants do not have that privilege of exemption from unlawful presence because they're not classified as immediate relatives. So if you're not an immediate relative and you're filing your green card application, that means that as you are a preference category, preference-based immigrant. And as a preference-based immigrant, for you to be eligible to file your green card application based on marriage to a green card holder, then you must be in valid, lawful non-immigrant status. Now, there is an exception to that. I'm not talking about the exception now. The exception to being in lawful presence, a lawful non-immigrant status, if you're trying to adjust based on marriage to a green card holder, is if you're filing for VAWA. So even as a preference category immigrant, if you're filing based on VAWA, if you're no longer in valid status, even if your abuser is a green card holder, you will be exempt from that unlawful presence. That's the one exception. If it's not a VAWA case and you're preference category immigrant, then you must be in valid non-immigrant status in order for you to become eligible to adjust your status without leaving the country. So I get this question a lot, and because of this lady's case is why I said, let me do this topic tonight so that somebody else does not fall into that situation. It's not someone who used someone else. She went through a lawyer. She tried to do it the right way. Lawyer, unfortunately, advised them wrongly. Lawyer advised them wrongly because lawyer was under the impression that since she has an asylum case that she filed during the time that she was in lawful status, then that should have covered her up until when she filed an I-485 to be able to adjust status based on marriage to a green card holder. However, that is incorrect. If you file your asylum application during the first year or even during your 6 months authorized stay, that's good. What that allows you, so let's assume you come in, you have up until December 31st, 2022 to stay legally. That's where your authorized period of stay is. You file for asylum September 30, 2022. You still have at least 3 months of your authorized stay. Now, a year from now, you're still waiting on your asylum case, and you're waiting on your asylum interview. Because you filed your asylum before your authorized stay expired, you're not going to accrue unlawful presence that would not trigger any kind of bar if you have to leave. However, authorized stay does not confer on you legal status or any status whatsoever. So the fact that you filed an asylum application before your authorized 6 months is over, now you're way past that 6 months. You don't accrue unlawful presence because you filed it within that period where you were authorized to stay in the country, but you're not in any legal status in the sense of if you're not wanting to file to adjust your status to that of a legal permanent resident, your authorized stay is over. So you're not based on anything unless you have something else that you change to. If there's no other status, all you're doing is waiting on your asylum interview. then you're not in any lawful non-immigrant status. And if you're trying to adjust your status as a preference category immigrant, you will not be eligible to do that because you're no longer in a lawful non-immigrant status. So hear me loud and clear, people. I keep saying it, as attorneys, I don't know everything. Listen, I'm up till sometimes 2 a.m. trying to figure something out. Like, okay, 𝒑𝒂𝒔𝐞𝐲𝐞 makes sense to me. And I'm not about to sleep yet because I need to understand what the heck I'm doing. Because we don't know everything. But sometimes I always say, get a second opinion. If you're not sure, get a second opinion. I can be your second opinion. I can be your first and check, fact check my recommendation with another attorney, because nobody knows it all. Nobody knows it all. There's some things I'm thinking like, oh no, that's not how it makes sense. In this case, you have to understand a pending asylum case does not confer on you any lawful non-immigrant status, regardless of if you filed it within the authorized state. Now, let me put it this way. When you file an asylum case and they don't approve your case, even though you filed it when you were in lawful status, if by the time it was approved or the time the decision was made where it was denied, you will be referred to immigration court, basically placed in removal proceedings. Why? Because there is no appeal for asylum. That is just the next step. The only reason why you will not be placed in removal proceedings is if USCIS asylum office does not grant your case. They look at it and say, okay, this person still has 3 months on their authorized stay, then it would just be a denial. They will not refer you to immigration court because you're still in lawful immigrant status, non-immigrant status. So if you are filing, you're not married, you have an asylum case pending, you get married to a green card holder, right? Understand that because you have an asylum case pending does not make you eligible to adjust your status and file your green card successfully. You must be in lawful non-status or wait until your spouse becomes a citizen. That takes you from a preference category immigrant to an immediate relative. And then based on being an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen, and you came in legally, you will be able to adjust your status even if your asylum case is pending. That's all she wrote. So please note, there is a difference between authorized stay and lawful presence. Authorized lawful presence encompasses authorized stay. Authorized stay, however, doesn't always mean lawful presence. Probably confused a lot of people. But just make sure you know that if you are getting married to a green card holder, you're not filing a vow petition, in order for you to successfully adjust your status, you must be in valid non-immigrant status at the time you are submitting your I-45 for USCIS to consider your application, so that you don't risk your, being denied and then being, issued a notice to European Immigration Court, because now you've already let them know, okay, I'm here illegally, so, and I can move forward. So the more you know, people, you've got to know what it is that you're getting. Make sure you understand what it is that an attorney wants to do, whether it's a paralegal, whatever it is, even you're doing it yourself. Make sure you understand what it is you're getting into, the consequences, and whether you are eligible for the immigration benefit that you are seeking at that particular time. That's all. Let's go to questions. Okay. Let me take this off and go back in. Let me start on Instagram. I started on Facebook last time. Let me start on Instagram today. Okay. And Raji, that's my boy. I'm a woman, like that is I have two sons, 17 and 11, almost 12. I would say I'm just glad my oldest kid came first, because he's the kind of kid, thank you, Jesus, you have, and you're like, having kids is not that bad. Even in the United States, you can do that. This is no big deal. in the yeah, TJ. You're like, okay. Where's the birth control? But yeah, but thank you for amen. Amen. I appreciate that. I love, he cannot take Boo to save his life. No. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Good evening. How are you? And Nevi Boo. Okay. Thank you. Underscore cool underscore chic. I don't know whichever way you pronounce it. What happens? This is color by. What happens when you have an application that has been taken as fraud? I mean, disclaimer: answers to questions are not specific to your case. This is general information. I don't know what it is you're talking about, but if you're talking about, an example would be if you're talking about a marriage case that was denied and they are alleging fraud, then generally, if USCIS concludes that your marriage was fraudulent and you only got into it for getting a green card, and it's now been that you actually participate in a sham marriage, that's generally the bar to ever being able to get a green card. However, it doesn't mean that you cannot challenge and rebut and fight that. I'm on the H2 program, but I'm married to a U.S. citizen. So in my paperwork, however, my employer is filing a petition for me. Will that affect my paperwork? I cannot say whether it's something that's going to affect your paperwork or not without knowing exactly what your case is about. So you may be better off scheduling constituting an attorney to know what it is that will affect or not affect your case. Thank you, Mr. Ladimiji. Chioma says a Stoke interview without response. What does that mean? It just means they haven't made a decision yet. 𝒊𝒎𝒒, what should someone do if you sent an application petition form and have not gotten the receipt since 3 months, called your CIs to inquire and was told they can't find your name in their system? Did you submit an asylum application? 𝒊𝒎𝒒. I don't think it's asylum because I just saw what you said. You tracked the money order and it's been cashed because there's no filing fee for asylum, and the application tracking shows it was delivered to USCIS. What should someone do about that? I guess you just have to wait, because if it's a new case and you don't have, if you had like an alien number, they can use that to pull it up. If you don't, but 3 months, I mean, even for asylum, 3 months, 3 months is a while. 3 months is a while. So yeah. Can someone file a vow when having pending appeals case? So you can file a vow petition itself. I don't know what your appeal case is about, but a petition usually is a standalone petition, just like the case I just talked about. Even though she filed her I-485 based on an I-130, because the I-130 is a standalone petition, that is approvable and was approved by itself. This 485 is not a standalone. That's the difference. So petitions generally, like a vow petition, is a standalone petition. And so the fact that you have an appeals case going on does not stop you from filing for vow. What happens if your husband dies before the I-130 is approved? I hope, if that's you, my condolences to you and your family. Automatically, the I-130 becomes a widow's petition. But for the most part, what I do in my firm, listen, I have OCD, and I am just someone who, my brain works in a very, very particular way. that a lot of people cannot understand. So I am that kind of person that I don't. It's not a matter of trust. I just don't leave things to. I don't assume that people know that this is what should follow, especially with USCIS. So in that case, I usually would send, and I've had a couple, 2 or 3 happen that way. I usually will send a notification to them, letting them know we are converting. Because first you have to send notification of death certificate to them. And the law is, if that happens while your case is still pending, it would automatically convert to a widower's petition. But I usually will send a notification or notice to USCIS. Tizo says, what defines an immediate relative? Is it if the petitioner is a citizen or green card holder? Only citizens have immediate relatives. Yes, green card holder relatives are preference-based immigrants. Only immediate relatives are relatives of citizens, and not all relatives. So, for instance, siblings of citizens are not immediate relatives. So, immediate relatives are specific relatives. That will be a son or daughter, child of a citizen who is unmarried and under the age of 21. The parents of a son or daughter, meaning that citizen is 21 years or older to be able to file for their parent, and spouses of citizens. Those are the specific family members who are considered immediate relatives. So you as a sibling of a citizen, even though that your relative is a citizen, you are not an immediate relative, because it doesn't encompass siblings. Siblings actually preference category actually have the longest wait compared to other preference categories relatives. Oh, Didi, oh, you are so welcome. Yes, I will let you know when I'm heading to Chicago for real. And I sent you an email afterwards. Check your email. Can you file for EAD when your dad's citizenship is pending and your I-130 approved, but you have a 797? 797 is nothing but a notice of action. So I'm not really sure what it is that you're asking. Good evening. This is pretty_glory love. What will happen if I-130 is denied and you're still married to your partner? If it's denied, you can start all over again. Faiz Shola. It's been a year since I filed for VA and nothing received from USCIS except receipt. Okay. What else are you expecting? Let's start with that. Okay, is there anything to be worried about since there is also a removal proceedings too? So you are in removal proceedings? Okay, Summit Group, it's a VA case, but filing for a minor child. You can send a letter to the Vermont Service Center if the child has been issued an alien number before. You can include in that as much details as you can in the letter. But I mean, I can't speak to your case without actually having a proper consultation with you. One of my sisters filed for asylum in 2016, but she hasn't heard anything. Her application is still pending. Can she ask for expedited processing because she's frustrated already and her EAD is pending? So in the last month, I've made about 5 expedited requests for asylum cases, and only 2 were approved. It's case by case, so she can short answer, but just make it as strong, because there was a case I thought, okay, this is really strong, and they denied the expedited request. And my client's case has been pending since 2017. Just make sure you have a strong enough case and it fits within the basis for expediting your case. Good evening. the CEO, how soon can a new citizen file for someone? There's no time limit as far as that's concerned generally. USCIS was notified of death of husband, but it was not updated. Received a letter addressed to dead husband for more evidence. Then you can respond to that based on the fact that with no prima facie, okay, you can't respond to that and ask them to convert that. The law is that it would automatically convert upon notification, but it's USCIS. So, but no, Faishola, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I can't speak to your case. Maybe you want to talk to a lawyer and see what can be done. Like for instance, if I haven't received the prima facie in the case, say 6 months, I usually give them 6 months. I would email. So attorneys have an email that we can use and send an email to the Vermont Service Center. And they usually respond. It may not be immediate, but they will respond. So in that way, I can get direct communication with them and they will verify who I am and all that good stuff. But in your case, you would have to send in a notarized signature that it's you, given the confidential nature of a case. But it may be best for you to consult with somebody. Can you travel within the US by flight when you overstayed your B1, B2 visa? I mean, that's a decision you would have to make, but they, if your, for instance, your foreign passport is still valid, as long as your ID is valid, that's the main thing. But you just never know with ICE, with the USCIS, you just never know. Desmond _ money. What can you do? I-754, 751 is up to 3 years now and not yet approved. Are you eligible for citizenship? If you are, then you may want to file that in to see if that speeds up your case. Okay, so let me go to Facebook. Thank you, Miss Justina. Amen. Hello, Mr. Dosmu. How are you doing? Happy birthday. Thank you, Lady B. Thank you, Mr. Dosmu. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jay Pereira, you are so welcome. Congratulations. They say I had my green card interview based in Val. An officer approved the case at the end of the interview. Thanks for all your help. You're absolutely so welcome. I remember you were worried about that. Congratulations to you. That is, listen, there's nothing like hearing good news for people, for immigrants. Immigrants are taking over the United States. Just wait and see. Okay, Deanne, what an asylum person now married a citizen will. I'm assuming your question is, if an asylum person is now married to a citizen, will the I-485 still be denied? And it's not a case of will it be denied. So I can't tell you whether or not your application will be denied. But what I can say is, as if you're married to a citizen, as long as you came in legally, and you should have your asylum pending, because you're going to be classified as an immediate relative, you will be eligible to adjust your status. Now, whether or not there's going to be something that's another kind of an inadmissibility issue that's different, but an immediate relative is not barred by not having maintained lawful presence if you're married to a citizen and trying to adjust based on that. Okay, SC says, I married an LPR 5 in November. Still haven't received my work permit. Does my case deal with the same way as if I married a citizen? There is no separate category for those married to citizens and green card holders based on the I-765 work permit itself. The very first question you need to ask yourself, SC, is what category of work permit did you file? Did you file a C9 category or C31? If you filed a C31 category work permit, then you're not going to get that anytime soon until your VAWA petition has been approved. So that's the first thing I want you to go look in your receipt notice and see what the category of work permit you filed is. Mukaila Tunde, why do I think that name sounds very familiar? Submitted I-751 January 31st, received my receipt a week later, but up to present, I'm yet to have my biometric letter. Contact them and see what they tell you. Oh, I just saw what you said. I called them and they said they have not sent it and I'm so worried. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about that. You just have to wait because I don't know. Are you filing jointly with your spouse? Yeah, congratulations to Para. That is awesome. Hey, Aisha, how are you? Thank you for joining. So let's use Jay Para's case, for instance, because a lot of people are asking, for those on Instagram, those on YouTube and on Facebook can see the comment that people are asking, but you may not see it on Facebook because this is YouTube, asking Pereira how long the VAWA process took. And their case, the VAWA case took 26 months to be approved. So they're talking about and confirm for me, Pereira, are you talking about the petition itself, meaning the VAWA case, not including your I-46 interview? Are you talking just because VAWA can, the good range is 18 months to 20, 25, 26 months, 25 and a half months. And 18 months, maybe because you have a previously filed I-130, now you're able to recapture your priority date. But it's not the fastest thing to get through. That's just what it is. Okay, as you filed a C9, if you look on USCIS.gov/present times, most likely your case is still within normal present time. And if you, well, okay, you just did biometrics and made, so it's still within normal present time. So I don't think there's anything to worry about. That's just a general recommendation. I don't know anything about your case. So such a person, this is follow-up to your question, Dean. So such a person don't need to withdraw his or her asylum before submitting the I-45. No, you do not want to do that, especially if you don't have any status. If you withdraw that, it doesn't matter whether you're filing a 485. Withdrawing can land you in immigration court, but basically deportation proceedings. So Pereira just confirmed only the VAWA case. So only the VAWA petition took 26 months to be approved. Some people's petitions can take much lesser time. Some can be longer, depending on if you're getting RFEs and notice of intent to deny. But to each their own. Raquel Dennis, do I need my spouse green card to file for VAWA? It's always good to get a proof or copies or evidence to show the status of your abuser. But this is one thing you guys can do, because there are a lot of people who are victims, subject to abuse by their green card holder spouse or citizen spouse and don't have access to the record. If so another way to be able to prove their qualified relationship or their status is asking USCIS to confirm and to check their records, because if someone has filed for green card, they have it in their record. If someone is a citizen that was born here, naturalized, they have it in their record. So ask them to check their computerized records and confirm that the person is either the green card holder or a citizen. You must give them as much information as you possibly can give. Full name, any other alias names they have used in the past. If they were married, if it's a woman who's been married before, all the former names they've used in the past, date of birth, if you know their social security number, if you know their mother's name, if you know the addresses they've lived in the last 3 years, if you know their father's name, if you know what the last job they held, do they have a nursing degree, do they have a nursing license, do you know the license number? As much information as you can gather Send that in with your application and specifically ask them. There's a section of the INA Act that allows you to ask them to check and to confirm with this information you have provided that the person is either a citizen or a permanent resident, legal permanent resident of the United States. Okay. I'm thinking a couple more questions on this. Thank you, Mr. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I know who that person is, but I guess they have jokes. This is not a cooking class, so I just love Mr. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, I tell you. But Gabby is right too. I talk about how I love my Nigerian food. So, but this is immigration. So, Gabby, I know, but yeah, and I just talked about it. What happens if you receive a notice of intent to deny? You're going to respond to it. You're welcome, Raquel. So, anyway, all right, people. That's all she wrote for tonight. So I hope you guys, I hope this information helps. But let me just let me end today by saying this. Listen, don't be fooled by all the positive affirmations from Sister Lion. No. I am someone who truly, truly believes in being positive and drawing positive energy to you every single day. In my household, there's some things my sons cannot say. There's some things I would never, knock on wood, say to my children. For instance, from coming from Nigeria, we're from a culture where it's almost okay. But from the day that I became a mother, I told myself that it's a conscious decision that I have made. No matter how angry I get at my kids, I would never speak anything because I believe so much in the power of life and death lies in the tongue. Because if you speak it, you are basically prophesying. That is just me, based on my faith in God and what the Bible tells me. Basically, it's prophesying into their life. Don't say anything out of anger that you don't ever want to happen to your child, because you're going to be not angry and then you don't want to regret. But I also believe that there's nothing that is too late in life. If God says it's part of your destiny, it's just a matter of time. You just have to keep holding on, and you may not figure out how it's going to happen, but it will happen. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it shall surely come, it shall not tarry. Meaning that if it's not our place, and this is one thing I've learned in life, it's not my place to try to figure out how God is going to do something. It's not my place. And it took me a while to understand, and I still keep reminding myself that there is not an iota of his word that it's going to go back to him void without being fulfilled. I say all this to say this. There was a time in my life that I did not feel fulfilled, even though I was, being a mother is my greatest achievement in life. That's the bottom line truth. I say I'm a full-time mom, and in my spare time I practice love, because I would drop everything when it comes to anything that has to do with any of those two boys. But I also knew that Abisola on our own is a person that has to be fulfilled and can be the best version of a mother once I have that fulfillment in life. I never thought, because coming from Nigeria with a law degree, where I found myself in a state where I could not practice law, I could not do anything. And I'm thinking, and then you're married to a family where they tell you your place is in the kitchen, and you're thinking, I don't think my parents spent all that money. And if you're a lot of people are Nigerians here, so we Nigerian people in education is a big deal. Like, it's not just about you. You having a degree is not about you, for the most part. It's about bragging rights for your parents. Like, doctor mommy, that kind of thing. You understand? But beyond that, I just knew that I am someone who has to use my intellect for something. I just knew that I had a whole lot more beyond being a stay-at-home mom. Don't get me wrong. There is nothing wrong with being a stay-at-home mom. I did it for 10 good years. 10 solid years. Yes, 10 years. And I thought, okay, I guess I'm just going to be a stay-at-home mom the rest of my life. But God had other plans. He had other plans. I literally was in the pantry of the house that I used to live in before while I was married. I remember the day vividly. Was I see someone, God just says, it's time. I was literally going in, I was going to make cereal for my kids. I can never forget. And it was just like, I felt like someone said, it's time. And I said, I'll be damned. I'm going to go back to law school. And I just came out of the pantry with my ex-husband, then husband. I'm going back to law school. And they looked at me like, why would you want to do that? Like, because he's a physician. Like, we have a good life. You don't have to work. Why would you want to do that? I'm like, it's not about you. I was raised to know my mother is to understand me a whole lot better. I don't know if my mother is here, but if you know my mother's, I'm okay in women. They'll do businesses. They will sell. They can sell anything. They will get. My mother had all sorts of business, and she worked in the civil service, but she had everything. I saw lace, gilly, China. Listen, that's part of who I am. That's part of my fiber. So I knew that as good as a mother I wanted to be, I could not be the best version of myself because I knew there was something missing. And I knew that I was in a place where I needed to get out of a marriage because I knew there was no way I could do and really pursue what I wanted to do with everything I had in it. That wasn't the only reason, but there's a lot of stuff. But I heard it very clearly. And I was thinking in my head, I'm in my 30s because I went back to 2012, 10 years ago. I was 33. I said, I'm in my 30s. Got 2 boys. I got 2 kids. How am I going to do this? But resilience, perseverance will get you there because I was driving to law school one way, not round trip. One way was an hour and a half from my house to law school. 1.5 hours from my house to Mississippi College School of Law for a whole year because I needed to get that. I didn't even know if I was going to pass the bar, but that was what I needed to do to get to take Alabama State Bar. And I needed that in Alabama State Bar and my transcript to now be able to transfer a part of my score to New York to do that. And pass the bar. Okay, what do I do? No job. No job. But as many times as I wanted, I kept on looking for somebody to hire me. Darn, Lord, I have over 100 applications that I sent out. Not one interview. And then it was one day after passing the Alabama State Bar, I got up and I was crying my eyes out. I was like, there's got to be a way out. There's got to be somebody. I picked up the phone and I started looking through Alabama attorneys. And being the Nigerian that I am, like, what's the worst that can happen? Who the hell are you? I just called the guy and I said, hey, this is who I am. Don't know him from nothing. This is who I am. I'm close to here. This is how far I am from your office. Would you please mind just giving me 1, 2, 10 minutes of your time so I can explain who I am and what I want to do and how you can help me? That's the beginning of everything leading up until now. So don't think it is too late. Don't think that you're 50. My mother went back to nursing school when she was 50. She's got her. My mother wanted to be, she wanted to go to law school, but had to put that on the back burner when her sisters, because, her older sister went to school, she had to go to secretarial school, but she knew she wanted to have a college degree. And my mother was in her 50s when she got a college degree. So it is never too late. Never too late. God's plan for us is never too late. It may look late to us, but he does all things work together for our good. and he makes all things beautiful at his time. To everything there is a season. And if it's not the season for that blessing, there's nothing you can do. So as you wait on your immigration case and on your decisions, things are taking too long. Nigerians, we're not the most patient people. I know I'm number one, but I've also come to understand that there's nothing I do. I can fast till Jesus comes back. If it's not time for that blessing, there is absolutely nothing you can do. But understand something very clearly. Bible says that who has begun a good work in you, he is more than able, he's more than capable to complete it. So if God has brought you this far, that he will complete that which he has started in you. And I'll leave you guys with that, and I'll see you guys next week, God willing. Bye-bye.